Alright guys, what I kind of wanted to do today is I kind of wanted to do something, the title of this is probably, it's going to be Apple Wins Hollow Victory in Psystar Ruling. Now if you don't know, Psystar is a copier of Apple. What they do is they copy Apple's operating system, but they build it on PC components, which I think is downright neat and Apple should allow it. But as you hear in the story, which I'm about to read you from an excerpt from PC World Business Center, you will understand why Apple decided to go smack down on Psystar. So here we go. I'll start reading the story now. A federal judge has ruled in Apple's favor in its lawsuit against Mac clone maker Psystar, or however people pronounce it. Prevailing in the court battle seems it should be a good thing, but what Apple really gets out of the victory is a limited market share potential. Congratulations? Obviously, I'm not a lawyer, but it does seem like Apple's case against Psystar would be pretty solid in order to make the Mac operating system to work on the PC clone hardware. In my opinion, I think I should have just left it alone. You know, Apple should be an open source people. They came from the Linux roots, so they should be open source. You know, Psystar had to actually hack part of the operating system and replace it with unique code of its own. Even if Apple was being compensated, the result seems that Psystar was profiting from the derivative work that violates Apple's copyright. Apple, as y'all said, it should be open source software. Whoops. Next part of the story is going to be. Wait a second, guys. I need to check my email. The U.S. District Court Judge William Aslep explains his ruling in sum. Psystar has violated excessive reproduction right, distribution right, and right to create derivative works. I don't agree that Apple should have the ability to restrict the hardware that I install the Mac OS X software on, but based on the application of existing laws, I can understand why Apple won the case. Now this part's coming from me. I'm not really saying this, copying this from an article, which I'll probably put a link to the article. The fact that Apple can leverage existing law to maintain derogatory control over how its products are used is a flaw with the laws of their application, not with Apple. So what they're saying so far is it's not really they're copying the Apple operating system. They're copying the architecture and modifying it, which I'm all for modding. I'm actually currently on my laptop that's what's recording this sound, and I also apologize for the sound not being so great. It's good quality, but it's being recorded on Windows Sound Recorder, so sorry for that. Also, here's something else I was going to say. I don't understand or agree with most copyright law and EULA registrations or in-unit license agreement, and they pertain to computer hardware and software. As far as I am concerned, Apple dictating with what hardware I can install Mac OS on is like Doubleday books telling me where I'm allowed to read Dan Brown's The Lost Symbol, or Sony restricting me from playing the Taking a Film 123 on a Toshiba DVD player. Imagine if other industries worked like that. Let's use cars as an example. You pay $30,000 for the privilege of indefinitely borrowing a Chevy Camaro, but General Motors reserves the right to tell you where you can park it. And if you try to customize or modify it in any way, like changing the factory default rims or installing a new stereo system, General Motors sues you for creating your derivative work. There would be riots. Now, what does General Motors and Apple have to do together? Would they have to kind of go together like this? It's part of the story. Now, part of this I'm putting in my own words, so don't think I'm copywriting. I fully understand that I can't reproduce the product in part of whole for the reproduction as my own. That's copyright. It's plagiarism. Got it. But once Apple, for my copy of Mac, I paid Apple for my copy of Mac OS X. It shouldn't be Apple's business no longer what I do with it. If I want to modify it to make an authorized toaster oven, or use the DVD as a coaster for my coffee mug, that should be my prerogative. That's my prerogative. I'm not going to sing anymore. The judgment comes when the wake of recent Apple's. No, this part's from the story. This judgment comes in the wake of recent Apple In a recent update, Apple has released the macOS operating system that prevents users from creating Hackintosh systems from removing support of the Intel Atom processor. Well, this Intel Atom processor, Apple rumors with the netbook. Now, I don't know what processor they're going to use, but they have to use something with Intel since they've been going with Intel for the past, since 2005. Let me continue reading. The Psystar case and the Hackintosh update both work to ensure that Apple retains corporate bureaucracy and control of every aspect of the Mac ownership. Which that seems like Big Brother to me. I don't get why Apple's so non-Big Brother, but they control you like Big Brother. I don't get it. Don't get it at all. Don't understand it. Don't really want to understand it, but I have to understand if I'm reading this. The result is a solid operating system and a wonderful customer experience, with little or no potential of growing much beyond its current market share. So Apple can't grow anymore. Just turn the music volume. Apple seems to be generating humongous profit and maintaining a high customer satisfaction at the same time, just fine enough. So choosing bureaucracy control over market dominance seems to be working out okay. Well, in my humble opinion, I think Apple should just be going open source. The roots are from Unix, and Unix is part of Linux, and Linux is open source. But that's my own opinion. That's not your opinion. They don't have to be. Well, this is just a quick rant, guys, and a quick, I'll see you later. Peace.